So, for the first time, I want to call out the president's appointee to the Petroleum Commission.
Right. Let me just quickly say this.
Okay.
Just a quick one.
Okay.
Sorry for the rude interruption. This is an important information. So, the Honorable Ejapa Mesa, who's a former member of Parliament for Second year, just sent us this message. He says, my vetting as Deputy Minister in 2021 lasted almost 5 hours. That's serious. Yes, 5 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll please go ahead.
I don't have a problem with how many hours anybody is vetted anyways. I want to say a special good morning to Madam Emeafa Hardcastle this morning. Reason being that without mincing words, she should never, under any circumstance, be called upon, be forced or compelled to apologize to anyone for calling out anybody silly. What we witnessed yesterday confirms further that we need to rethink if we should even be calling our members of parliament honorables. There's nothing honorable about what transpired yesterday. And I must say categorically and zoom in strict on Honorable Annoh-Dompreh. I saw this gentleman carry chairs and constantly putting them on the table. That is very silly. If there's any other word, I would prefer it is used. It is not only absurd. Look, you cannot choose to be treating these matters with velvet gloves because of the people involved. If a member of parliament thinks that he or she disagrees with a certain process, whatever, are there not laid down procedures by your standing orders by which you should go? Unless somebody is able to convince me here now that part of the standing orders tells that when you cannot have any other way, the last resort will be to cause some organized chaos. Tables were broken, microphones have been damaged, cost to the state, and these are by members of parliament who will be approving loans. I listened to Honorable Chinya say that, has there been any precedence of this and all that? Must there necessarily be precedence? Why do we think that there must always be precedence for everything? Then we will not even want to achieve higher heights because we will set goals low. And so today, I am so happy, I must say on record here, I am happy that Madam Emeafa Hardcastle referred to Annoh-Dompreh as silly. Because he confirmed it by his act yesterday. And if anything, you may hold your view. When I'm done, you can. I hold a lot of...
Annoh-Dompreh is not here.
Yes.
No, I am not insulting him.
No, you say he's silly.
See,
no.
You see?
Elikem,
you see?
Elikem, I beg you.
It's not here. You see? Let me tell you the definition of sin.
I beg you. Elikem, let me please come in here.
Moro.
See, no, hold on. I beg you. This is a public broadcast.
Good.
People are watching us.
Good.
What happened in Parliament was, you can call it, it was more or less like a reflex action, right? It was in the heat of something.
Let me.
And then she made those comments. Even that, there are some persons who are not happy with those comments. But we are sitting on a public broadcaster, like a TV station. And so we have to be a bit more measured and a bit more responsible with the kinds of things we say. I mean, you could have said that, look, the words that, Emeafa used on the MP, you can say it's justifiable, but not necessarily repeating the word here on it. So I beg you, you can retract it.
No, as for retract, I will not. I'm so sorry.
You use the word here.
I am really so sorry. I will not retract it.
Do you know why?
I am solely responsible for that. I'm so sorry. It is not an insult. You see, that is where many of us get it wrong. Why do you think silly is an insult? Silly means what you are doing is an absurd conduct.
I know, but you see,
an absurd conduct is silly.
Elikem.
It's descriptive.
No, I get it.
You see, yes.
But
you see,
Elikem,
how will you describe a member of parliament carrying a chair and putting it on a table, damaging it in that instance, causing you and myself, the taxpayer, further harm?
Elikem, I beg you.
You see,
within our social-cultural setting, I beg you, when you use the word silly, to use the word silly,
when the minority in the A parliament,
it's not something that
to the extent even carry the speaker's chair.
So don't let it come from you on Metro TV. That's all I'm trying to say. I beg you.
We have gone past this.
I beg you.
Let me be frank with you.
Yes.
It is one of the things that has retarded. Find out. These are some of the things that have actually retarded our progress. When we rather want to play pawn with words and want to rather massage egos. It is why I'm asking you, what is the meaning of silly? Has anybody even found time to go out and say, okay, silly, what does it mean? It means lacking common sense. What does lacking common sense mean? Acting in ways that defies common sense. Why would do you think?
But when you repeat what Emeafa has said, it's as good as saying that you're also telling him that this is what you think about
I am a parent. Not even my 9-year-old or 10-year-old son would disagree with me and therefore decide to conduct himself in such a very childish manner that we saw yesterday. And you think that this is a matter we must treat with velvet gloves for broadcasters, etc., to say they want to disassociate, because this same platform and everybody watching us watched whatever transpired in Parliament yesterday, right or wrong. And when we have to speak truth to power and we want to treat it with velvet gloves, then we are nursing our wounds even for the future. Look, when I saw what happened, I asked myself, what exactly is happening? Is this Ghana's Parliament? Privileges Committee was immediately asked to go and look into some matter. Will we assign the Privileges Committee a role to play in this to make sure that persons who conducted or misconducted themselves yesterday are brought to book? The videos are all out there. You don't need rocket science to transcribe or translate whatever happened there to you. We saw what Annoh-Dompreh did. We saw what Jerry, the Wager MP, also did. And so you see, when they have misconducted themselves, somebody wants you to believe that per our social, not because you said it, per our socio-cultural training, you cannot do this. Let me give you an example. It is one of the reasons why President Akufo-Addo did a lot of damage to this country and he got away with it scot-free. Because many said, he's an elderly, you don't do this to an elderly, you don't do that. And he was destroying the very fibers of our country. And we looked on. It is also the reason why many believe now that we need to relook at our constitution, because so much power is given to the president, and if given the opportunity, one may abuse it like President Akufo-Addo did. We have a plethora of examples for that matter. So where from this sudden concern when I say somebody conducted himself in a silly manner? Silly is never an insult. Unless, you see,
but there's a difference between...
Let me just say this one before you come in.
Okay.
The concern is that it is English language we are speaking. Don't use your vernacular to translate English language. The English itself tells us that silly means what? Lacking or showing lack of common sense or judgment, absurdity. That is it. It cannot be any other thing to implant our socio-cultural, traditional, what have you. It is not Ghanaian language.
No, I don't have a problem.
You get my point?
Elikem, I don't have a problem if you say Annoh-Dompreh's actions were silly.
So you see, you are virtually saying that instead of saying
but if you say that the man himself is silly, that's
what he did was a silly conduct.
Yes, you can describe his actions as silly.
Yes,
I don't have a problem
what he did was silly. That is what I'm saying. Yes. He has rather come to lay credence to what transpired days before then, right or wrong. He disagreed that he was not silly. He disagreed that he was silly, He disagreed that he was silly and that his person was either indicted or assaulted, what have you. But just in 48 hours, he came back to prove himself that what he was saying was not the case. And that is why I am worried. Because, look, if you disagree with the timing, that it had taken long, etc., it's part of the standing orders, prescriptive, that you must cause chaos, you must destroy the tables.
I mean, your point is the standing orders have remedies to cure some of these mistakes.
So if you disagree with something, you must go through the right processes.
Yeah.
And for Honorable Chinya to say that, have you ever had them vet more than 3? It doesn't matter. If they can even vet 20 people in a day, if it is possible, why not? Why not? See, for instance, during the vetting of the Greater Accra Regional Minister, no question was asked her. It could probably be because they feel everybody knows her and she's of good conduct, etc. So if other people come and they will all spend maybe just 1 hour, it means they could do even 10 vettings in a day. So it doesn't matter. So is it possible to also vet many people, just few people in a day?
Yeah.
You and I will again agree that a lot of questions that were asked were very inconsequential, very needless, not related at all. But we had to tolerate it because Afenyomakin had the powers to ask as many questions as he had. I saw it as an image cleansing exercise for him in this whole vetting episode, where you as a majority leader have led your team to a resounding defeat. And now you think that the vetting allows you the platform to demonstrate your singular stellarness. No, it doesn't. So they need to relook at these things.
Look, you're not done yet. Okay, please go ahead.
I think that the Privileges Committee need to look at this and properly investigate this. If not, it is some creeping danger into even our legislature. We are gradually becoming lawless at every facet of our system. Don't forget the 8th Parliament, the very beginning when the military guys stormed the chambers. And then when the other gentleman who turned himself into a goat and was chewing some
former Tema East of
so you see, that lawlessness is eating into. Because I cannot understand why a human being, for instance, would do that. If maybe you're a toddler, it could be permissible. But an adult chewing a paper, unless you're an animal. You get my point? So these are not as though I am insulting or supporting somebody insulting. It is descriptive of the conduct of somebody. And what we all saw yesterday is unacceptable.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Were we not? Yes. It's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And we must not tolerate that.
Yeah.
Look, were we not in this country when Parliament is about going on recess, a lot of bills are being pushed to Parliament, and in a hurry or in a haste, they try to pass all of them, just in order to gloss over some of these things. So what transpired yesterday is unacceptable. It should not be allowed to be swept under the carpet, because there is a need for us to begin to cleanse our entire system. When I saw damages being done, to the extent that they had to even raise tables and break the legs of the tables, at whose cost? To you and myself sitting here. We are the taxpayers. It is on our tax that they are living. And they conduct themselves like this. And I think that the MPP should bow its head in shame. Because if you disagree, even with the fact that you must continue vetting exercise, this is not the way to go about it. Certainly this is not the way to go about it.
Okay.
Because mind you, while you were vetting over 5 hours, etc., didn't you know that you will be tired? And even if you say you are tired, then why don't you put it through the right processes? I do not even know your standing orders for the committee. They know it best. So they should be able to know what is supposed to be done, either through their ranking or through whoever. That look, everybody says we are this or that. Can we do this at a later time? Because after all, nobody says that there's no rule barring you from continuing the vetting overnight. You get my point? You can continue throughout to 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So long as the nominee will be available and you, those who want to vet him, are also available.
Okay.
After all, the time that Afenyomakin spends to even vet one person, if he alone spends 3 hours, what are the others doing? They just become onlookers. You can spend that time to rest a bit if you want to. So let us not make it look as though the conduct is triggered by a certain action. Look, nothing warrants the misconduct of the MPP MPs in Parliament.
Right.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
There are already